right, so we're going to call the November 2020 Board of Directors meeting and annual budget hearing to order. Sorry, we're a little late, having a little bit of tech problems, continuing to work towards that. If we can turn the volume down on that, just all the way, that'll be great. Thank you, sir. All right. Mr. Vice President, do we have a quorum?
We do. All members are present either in person and present by Zoom.
Okay. Do we have any items from executive session that require a motion?
Have any votes that require no action taken as a result of the executive session?
Okay. Then we're going to move into ratifying electronic votes. So on October 26th, there was a vote that was made to approve the annual meeting minutes from the October Board of Directors meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Okay, I will second that ratification. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous. All right, we're going to start with an owner visitor forum. So if anyone has anything they'd like to say. And then also a quick reminder, anyone that is joining us via Zoom online, you can text Lee. And I don't know that number got put out there, but it's 469 767 4080. You can text her. Okay.
Some of you may know that Allie and Josh lost their baby girl out in June, my granddaughter. And I've been talking to Cheryl. I would love to buy a bench for the playground area at the end zone front. We need one anyway. There is an old rod picnic table there. That's all you have to sit on when you go watch kids play. So one is needed, but I would be honored to do that for my granddaughter. We could do it like spots if you would like it to be uniform. I had sent Cheryl a picture of one I found that I thought would be hot and would be hot. I don't remember the material that was made out of. It wasn't wood, it was black wood. I would like to put just a small plaque, something for their yoga, just something small and in her honor. So, sorry, I'm so emotional about it. But I would appreciate it if I would think about that. I'm happy to work with anyone on what bench you would like. I'm not picky at all, just want one that will look good for years. And I do want it in the playground area. When you go down the steps, the little concrete steps, the picnic tables on one side, the other side is just mud. You know, maybe we put some stones there and a block that's on the tops. And set a bench on there and have it for moms and dads and grandparents for years to come. So that's my ask.
Okay.
And again, I'm happy to do that.
Yep.
Are you still taking donations?
She's going to pay for it.
No, I was just going to pay for it myself. I haven't asked for any donations. Yeah, I'm happy to do that, obviously.
Yeah, it was put out on next door, and I wanted to contribute to that. So we were, my husband and I did. So we were in the process of seeing what matches. This is a terrible situation, but there are others that have also wanted to do a memorial for others in the neighborhood, and it would be great if we could still make it unique, but we are far from that. And so I would love to look at those proposals that you may share on and get them to the board. But yeah, time's now. We need to start helping with that, and I think people would donate.
That would be
To help you out. Could you tell me your name one more time?
Yes, it's Kim Fairhouse, Neuror, NEUROHR, and my phone number is 703-864-8255.
I think there's many that would like to help. So I think it was mainly just, we got a bit involved in the club.
Of course.
And not to say that this isn't important, because it really is.
Thank you so much.
And so thank you for coming and reminding us, and we can get back with you like in 7 days. Is that okay? Is that all right with the board?
Whatever your time is.
Evan?
Yes.
What do you think, President? Okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so 7 days, and we'll get back with you. Okay?
Wonderful.
All right, thank you.
That makes my heart happy.
Okay. Anybody else? Or have you received any texts?
Just someone said they couldn't hear. Someone said they couldn't hear.
Okay.
That was about a few minutes ago.
Okay, yeah. All right. We'll move out of owner visitor forum into reports. I don't have a whole lot to go over today from a president standpoint, other than you're sitting in the continued work and process of the switching over the reins of control of this building to Kemper. And so that's been a big part of our focus. There was some bar stool things that were going on that we got resolved. So we have backs on the bar stools now, trying to work on finishing up a lot of projects on that front, and then working through budget and how we can move the ball forward significantly for the neighborhood. We got a lot of irons in the fire, and the street signs also are coming down the pike as well. And we'll be having maintenance handle that this winter. So a lot of good things going on, a lot of positive stuff happening, and winter is coming. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how this whole operation susses out over the winter. So we're very positive and excited about the future, and looking forward to 2021, and hopefully some good things on the way there that are non-COVID related. I hope. So that's it for me. We'll move this over to Bruce for his treasurer's report, and let me make sure that we're getting him set up as best as possible here. All right, Bruce. I'm not seeing him on the call. Well, Bruce's screen share is this. That was so that people could see his face, but I'm not seeing him as far as one of the participants.
Is he on here?
We'll see. I'm looking.
Go ahead, pop on, ready for you.
All right, Bruce, you can go ahead.
What am I going ahead with? What's going on,
Your
Chip?
treasurer's report.
Oh, okay. Coming up. Well, I have good news and bad news. October financial summary, the revenue for the month of October was $147,000 and change. The loss was $240,000. And you say, how could that happen? It's a loss of $92,000 and change for the month. Well, in the month of October, the Kemper management fee was $9,000, and we wrote checks for about $112,000, $113,000 for a cost of $122,000, and that was devoted to two purposes at the Yacht Club. We had staff on, had to train new employees, and we had to restock food and beverages for the startup. So we had a very unusual October expense resulting in a big loss. So when we look at the revenue year to date, it's $1,463,000. The expenses are $1,703,000 for a loss of $240,000. So what is that all about? Well, 2/3 of it is related to receiving $165,000 in insurance funds for our electrical fire related expenses last year in 2019. And the repairs were not paid for until the first quarter of 2020, making 2019 look better than it was and 2020 worse than it was. And the Kemper cost for the startup in October drove us from being in the black most of the year to a loss October year to date of that $240,000. So where's that good news you were asking? Well, the ray of sunshine is that we have written no checks the first half of November to the landing. So it looks like these expenses truly were related to startup, but not ongoing operations. And that concludes the treasurer's report. You can find that data on the Town Square website.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Okay, T, you are up with the management report. I'll just go ahead and run microphone.
Okay. So I don't have a whole lot either, other than the fact that I will be ordering coupons. Coupons will be in the mail to all residents that aren't on direct debit prior to December 1st. So watch your mail. I know mail is slow right now, so they give it 10 days or so. In discussion with Bruce and with B1 Bank, I haven't had a chance to discuss with you yet. We won't be moving the lockbox. There are significant fees at B1 where there's no charge at CIT. And that was per the direction of B1 Banking and our advisors over there. Presently, I know there are a lot of needs in the community, so please watch the marquee for helping hand needs, fill the boat, TYC specials, and CLCA holiday events. Thanksgiving holiday office closure will be Thursday and Friday, the 26th and 27th. Our welcoming committee, we welcomed 9 property owners to our community in October of 2020. Our delinquency summary is actually very well. We have about 8 or 9 accounts that are in collection. I think only one that's not current outside of those numbers. Those in collection total around 11,000. So community events, for Lauren Turkey Trot, November 26th at 9 a.m. Watch the marquee for that startup location. And the Christmas tree lighting will be December 6th at 5 p.m. So I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to anyone. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to the office staff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got bumped off.
Okay.
Okay, my report on security, I got a couple items on here. Number one, we continue to have a record number of vehicles coming through the visitors gate. This has created some slowdowns, but it's primarily residents who do not have resident stickers on their vehicles. and or toll tags. So this slows the process down going through the gate. So we typically have pre-COVID average about 500 vehicles a day through the visitor gate, the main visitor gate, and now some days we're at 800 to 900. So it's almost double on certain dates. We continue to have issues with underage golf cart drivers and their parents who don't seem to think that it's necessary for to have them get the appropriate approval from the HOA to drive the golf carts. And then we continue to have some speeding issues. This is typically related to guests of residents and others that come in the community. So we just ask everybody to remind your residents to slow down. And that's all I have right now.
Okay. I'm going to tag on one more event. There's Breakfast with Santa on December 12th. I believe that will be here at the club, or brunch with Santa or something like that. All right. This will take us over to Ryan for his update. Give us a second.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. All right, Ryan, can you hear us?
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate your time, and I'll echo a little bit of what Bruce spoke to, just to give everyone some clarity as to where we're at the club from a pacing standpoint in October, and then where we're at through the first. This is through the first 8 days of November. Obviously, October was a little unique and challenging for us. You know, we didn't really get the grand opening until the 24th of October. We were able to do some soft opening activities the week prior to help with additional training and some steps of service with our team, and really just trying to get some muscle memory and some repetitions in from a service standpoint, which was great. The team's still actively working on training every day. We're implementing new SOPs each day. And as we come through each day of business and learn something new, we're able to pivot to improve the guest experience. And I've gotten some great feedback from members of the board and the community. So thank you for that. And most importantly, thank you for the patience. As you see on the pacing snapshot for October, we did fall short of our revenue plan by just under 52,000. The biggest part of that was twofold. One, not grand opening the club till the latter part of the month, which we lost 13 days to the original plan that we had put out. And then the lower lounge is still not open yet. Plans are to get that open by the end of next week. But if we factor back in where we were pacing from a daily revenue standpoint and having that lounge operating, we really would have come in right at a plan of 93K or even slightly above. Food COGS are obviously, they're a little under plan, but still high considering the revenue. As Bruce said, this is mainly due to, getting inventory back in the building. Really from just a food, liquor, beer, wine standpoint, it was fairly depleted from the fire and the closure, and it basically sitting in an inoperable cooler most of the year. So we had to restock those. Labor costs would typically be lower in a lower revenue month, but the fact that we had training and our team was pretty instrumental on getting the building prepped and ready, getting the kitchen put back together, the bars put back together. Frankly, it would have been tough to open by the 24th if we hadn't had them. So there was some extra labor costs really kind of associated with the startup as well. And then on the expenses, the same thing. We had some smallware purchases that we needed and just general supplies to be able to operate the business. For net income, a loss of 44K on a plan of losing just under 9K. This was mainly impacted by the revenue shortfall, which I touched on in the first section with not being open until the 24th. If you look at November, we're off to a pretty good start, considering we do operate 5 days per week right now, Wednesday through Sunday. We're just under plan, about just under $1,100 from a revenue standpoint. The food and beverage COGS, labor and expenses are a little skewed because it's only for such a minute part of the month. but these are all equating to, currently being in the black by $310 just through 8 days. And this will continue to improve as we, really flex our spend and labor up or down, depending on revenue. Obviously the current public health climate, and just really keeping a really tight pulse on everything that's going on around us. We're also implementing a pretty aggressive to-go strategy, which we've started marketing it, but there'll be an online version of this where orders can go straight from the website to our kitchen system, and then we'll be able to schedule future orders. We know with COVID right now, this is pretty important to make sure we have another outlet to provide a service for the community, and also be cognizant of health and public safety. So you'll see that. We're also very excited to be launching brunch on December 5th. We did send information out that Evan shared it on the Facebook page, and it's on ours as well. This will be December 5th and 6th. We'll launch it. So it will be a Saturday, Sunday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. brunch. And that menu will be published in the next 7 to 10 days. We do still have Wine Down Wednesday, which we started 3 weeks ago, 5 to 10 every Wednesday, half off selected bottles. That's been very successful for us and been probably our busiest weekday between Wednesday, Thursday, and even Friday to a degree until 7 o'clock. And then we will have some other really exciting activations. We will have a modified happy hour to fill some of the service voids where we're slow, to provide additional traffic and opportunities for the servers. And then we'll start having some activated events for the community specifically. Our first one will be a craft beer dinner the week of December 7th. So you will see information coming out on that. We'll give first right of refusal to the residents to sign up. We'll typically give a 48 to 72 hour window prior to making that open to the public. Our goal is to sell it out to the community first, and I'm pretty confident we can do so. And all of our events will be reservation, and we'll be very aware of social distancing and following CDC guidelines in all of our events. So lots of good things coming. Sorry I took up so much time. Most importantly, from myself and Kemper and the team, thank you guys for the patience. Thank you for the feedback. Please don't be afraid or to give us the feedback. We've gotten some really good constructive information back, and we've already made some improvements. So can't do it without you, and it's much appreciated. So thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Now we're going to go into old business, which is going to be the Yacht Club construction update.
Okay, a couple of items just on the update for construction. So for those that have been in the building, notice the elevator is still not here. Mershon received a force majeure letter from Schindler Elevator Company this past week. So in non-legal terms, this is a contractual letter that states it's the installation is outside of their control as a result of COVID. So they have about approximately half of their installation team in the DFW area has COVID. And right now it is scheduled to be installed at the physical elevator is in the Dallas area in a warehouse. It's as it stands as of Thursday, I think is probably now 5 to 6 weeks out. Realistically, I don't believe we'll see it before the first of the year. We're continuing just to finish up on punch list items. I think we hope to have the building punch list items complete in the next 30 days. And then the last piece, we've got two outstanding one big project item, the wall for the wedding venue. That's been a slow up for two reasons. The city of Rockwall asked for some additional engineering plans, civil engineering plans for drainage. I think our contractors now provided that, so we think have okay to start again. And then also just locating the amount of dirt we need to fill in behind it has been a little bit of a challenge. Not so much to get the dirt, the logistics of getting it in here and getting it dumped. because of, there's just not a lot of room to turn around for dump trucks. The handicap parking should start any day. We just, I think, received this week the final approval from the city of Rockwell. That was on a separate permit. So that actually will not be a big project to complete. It's probably 5 to 7 working days to get that work done. And that's all I have. I guess I can go to the next item, street signs. We're excited that we've come to an agreement on the color of the red for the street signs. So those are ordered and should ship along with all the posts and the brackets within the next, would anticipate 30 days. It's all being fabricated in Foley, Alabama. It'll all come shipped together. Once we receive that, Chuck is putting together a plan, gearing up where he will start installation shortly thereafter. And we'll start with, I think, doing all the signs that are on Yacht Club and then work our way back into the neighborhood from there. And Mr. President, that concludes my updates on old business.
Okay. Well, that takes us to new business, which takes us to you want Bruce. Oh, that's right. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Let me get Bruce all queued up here. All right, Bruce, can you hear us? Well, he's on the call. I can see him, but I don't see any video or microphone ability here. So possibly.
Okay.
But I don't think he could hear me.
No, I could not hear you. All right, but I can now.
Yeah.
Are you getting echoes or anything on your side?
No.
Okay. Well, we are good to go for the annual budget review.
Okay. All right. As you know, we've completed our budget preparations for 2021. If you take one thing away from this short presentation, it'll be that the key to our success will be successful and profitable operations at the Yacht Club. The Yacht Club budget calls for a small loss of $35,000, which includes our management fee to Kemper Sports. Without the management fee, Kemper expects to turn an operating profit averaging about $6,000 per month, although it will look more like a roller coaster with losses in the early part of the year and profit in the middle and towards the end of the year. Now, we're hoping for results like these, but felt it necessary to budget a little more than $200,000 based on past experience. So any surplus will be invested in the community for improvements like road repair, replacement of railroad tie retaining walls with keystone blocks, and street sign replacement. These items will also contend for funding with things not as visible like pond work and security gates upgrading. A couple of changes. A change in our format groups all the expenses relating to the property, including the Yacht Club, pool, and tennis courts, which was acquired in 2016. So this is going to make it easy to see what these amenities cost us and provide reassurance that we're headed in the right direction. We're also simplifying our financial reporting system. One page will cover the month's results and the year-to-date results with an explanation of key factors that drove or is driving these results. And that was the basis for my treasurer's report earlier. This page will be posted monthly on Town Square. And if more detail is wanted, residents may request the comprehensive background sheets we now use from the office. So to continue on the road to our vision, that of being the premier location on the lake to call home, it will be necessary once again to increase assessments by 10%. For a single family home, this amounts to about $183 a year. considering that Rockwall home values are increasing at a rate in the mid to high single digits month after month compared to the same month a year ago. This seems to be a very good investment. Thank you for choosing Chandler's Landing as your home. We hope to make it an increasingly satisfying decision, whether you choose to measure it by the quality of your life, the many amenities and events, or your financial return. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, and Bruce, I also had you for sign policy. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to roll into that?
Want to move to that right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. There was a bit of confusion on political signage in terms of banners and flags, whether or not they qualified as political signs. The state of Texas, the Rockwall ordinance, clarifies that quite nicely, and they are considered political signs. So we've revised our sign policy so that that's clear in the sign policy of Chandler's as well. So I would enter, that's the essence of the change in the resolution that's in the packet that we need to vote on to approve. And I would entertain a motion and a second to approve.
I would make a motion that we approve as submitted. Chip said he would second.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously.
And we also need I would suggest that we open the floor for any questions from homeowners on the budget.
Yep.
And then once that concludes, the president, that we also need to formally approve the budget.
Mhm.
So keep her
Okay, very good. Are there any questions on the budget from residents? You can. It's your call.
On line item under Yacht Club property expense, what's the difference in KSM management fee, 9,000 a month versus January? I'm sure there's an explanation, I just talking, I didn't understand what that was. So those two line items side by side, if you could clarify the difference.
Okay.
So the management fee is the approved management fee that we pay Kemper Sports, whereas the operating funding is based on Kemper Sports 2021 budget. Those first 4 months, those are losses that they feel that we may have to provide for. The other months showed positive gains. So we felt the best way to budget for Kemper Sports, those months that they showed losses, we pretty much predicting that we're going to have to fund those losses. And then the summer months, May through October, they've showed profit on their budget. So far, they've stuck to the budget for November. So.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Ross? I think so, yes.
I don't know, but I have not heard or understood any of it because you cannot hear. But did I hear that the Yacht Club, the restaurant, is losing money?
No, in November we are sitting at a profit, but in October, the summary that Ryan, the GM, gave was since we opened basically on the 23rd, 24th for full-time operations, and we didn't have the rest of that month, but we had staff on, as well as had to restock all of the entire kitchen from a product standpoint. That was where there was a loss associated with that.
So did he say that November?
Yeah, so far for November, we are in the positive. Okay. Yep. Yeah, no. Happy to clarify. Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Or any questions that have come in here? Mm-mm. No. Okay. No further questions.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the
So we have a second. Any discussion?
Only thing I need to discuss is that kids crew is only $800. They probably need about 2,000 just because of ordering the banners and because we're ordering them, but we don't have a budget for any of it to come out of. So I don't know how y'all want to.
I think that we're at, I think it is what it is right now. We're gonna have to see as we go how we can increase the budget for it. Is what he's saying over here behind me. So.
Some signage is signage for the community, so, we can kind of work through that. I have to pull from something else and it's pretty tight right now.
Right, that was just why I wanted to mention it. I don't use a lot of money. I mean, the projects don't cost a lot of money, but we do have occasionally something that would need to come up, and I just don't want to. I didn't want to have to keep borrowing from somebody else.
Okay. So it sounds like for the time being.
I'm fine.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we have a first, a second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second.
Any other discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay. Unanimous. Okay. All right. Any other discussion related to that needs to be had? Nope. Okay. That will take us to our second owner visitor forum. So if anyone wants to text in to Lee, or if anyone would like to speak here.
I did get a message earlier from Gina Strickland, I believe.
Mhm.
And she asked, have we fixed the bad smell in the restrooms? Do you want to talk about
Yeah.
those remediations that have been done?
Yeah. So as a part of, I'll take it, and then if you want to clarify anything, Chip, as a part of the renovations, the entire building plumbing, except for the kitchen, was all completely redone. There's a lot of situations there that were causing the smell. There was also the grease trap outside that was found, and this was almost a year ago that was found to have settled, and there were some pipes that were not working, and so that was also a cause of some of the smell. Now, we're going to face some ongoing things because it is a large establishment. Any sort of restaurant from our HVAC professionals, what we've heard is any sort of restaurant where you have a giant vent-a-hood, when that gets turned on, that's sucking air out. And so that has the propensity to draw air from other parts of the building. And so what needs to happen is our HVAC systems, the fan portion of it needs to stay on basically all the time to create a positive pressure environment. So that, for instance, a very easy way to think about it is if you were to put a piece of paper at the door and you open up the door, if the paper goes out, that means you have a positive environment because as soon as the door is open, air is getting pushed out, versus if it's being pulled in, you have a negative environment. So the big part of that is if we have the positive environment with fans constantly running, pushing out air, that can help us compensate for the air that's being pulled through in the kitchen, and therefore can help us make sure that any kind of sewer gas, if we have a P trap that dries up or something, that it doesn't get pulled through there.
She mentioned that it was worse in the downstairs area restroom where they're not really being used. And I know that there's a drain.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a number of P traps that, as you know, because not everything's being operated all the time yet, that if those dry out, there's a chance to get more of that smell.
Right.
But essentially the lingering all the time smell is gone / fixable from the
leak test.
Yes.
The other thing we have is we have an open elevator shaft.
Yep.
And that causes issues with the airflow in the building. So once we get the elevator in, that's going to alleviate some of unnecessary air movement that goes on today because it's just a big open.
From front to back.
It's like having a chimney.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's really what it is.
So the answer is yes. Now, not all of the plumbing in the kitchen was redone, but as a part of the end of the plumbing work being done by Mershon, they also did a couple smoke tests and found that a lot of the previous plumbing that was still in the kitchen had a lot of holes in it, and so that got resolved, and so that was a helpful thing too. So the one thing that we're not sure what the fix is for yet is in the winter months, wind comes from that direction, the north, it's cold, so it's heavier. It goes right over all of these vent stacks right here, which are dispelling sewer gas up into, and because it's cold, it actually pulls it down and goes right by our front door. So I want you to know what's actually happening there. That's what's happening. If you ever smell it outside as you're walking in, and the solution for that would be moving all those vent stacks or taking them and all combining them and maybe even doing a power vent. There's also been a suggestion of there's charcoal filters that you can put on the top of those vents. So we're looking into that. But that is something that we're not going to be able to contend with the north wind and just the orientation of the building and where that's going to come. Now, the flip side is it's usually warmer here than it is cold over the year. So anytime that the wind's coming out of that direction, it's getting blown over onto Courageous so they can have fun. No, I'm just kidding. But that's just the reality and nature of that. So if you do smell anything as you're walking up, that's what that is. But most everything in the building has been adequately resolved, or we know what the issues are and how to attack that problem. So.
And also to be clear, all of in the smoke test, any penetrations in existing plumbing in the kitchen that we did not replace, those areas have been, the walls have been opened up, the plumbing's been repaired, and the walls closed back up.
Yep. Okay. All right. Any other questions? None for you? No? Okay. Then we are to adjournment.
All right. Thanks, Bruce. We're done.
Make a motion. You second it?
A second, yeah.
All in favor? Aye. All right.
Motion done.